In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Hello and greetings. This is Muhammad Sulaiman Ahmadzai, here with a new session for you, my friends. According to our teaching process, we always start by defining a program and then working on it. We work on some of the ways to open it. We work on some of its interfaces. We work on some of the options inside it. All of this usually takes about 2 or 3 videos, however long it takes. Now, regarding the Word program that we are studying, the definition is that Word is similar to the Notepad program. The only difference that exists is this. We can format our text and use different colors. Something we couldn't do in the Notepad program. A text that we wrote in Notepad, we couldn't do that. For example, we couldn't say, let this part be our title, or make it bold, or maybe change its color to red. We couldn't apply other different effects either. It was just a simple text program where we could only read its content. But in WordPress, the text editor, just like your software's text editor or ours, is a bit more advanced and has more options. But overall, WordPress is a program that prepares you for working with Word, because in terms of appearance, it's very similar to Microsoft Word. A student who studies this, when they enter Word, might feel like they've stepped into a completely new environment. Meaning, they should at least have some idea of what Word actually is. WordPress, by its appearance, gets you ready for a program like Word. Alright, so after its definition, from where can we open the WordPress program? There are many ways to do that. I'll tell you a few ways, and then you can use whichever method is easiest, most common, or most interesting for you. You can use that everyday method as well. The first way is this. When you scroll down, try to come here, and in the W category, we have something called Windows Accessories. Here, try to find WordPad. After we've read Notepad, scroll further down under the letter W and look for WordPad. Then, by clicking on it, the WordPad program will open. Its interface looks like Microsoft Word. Of course, it's more basic than Word, but it actually has more options. However, compared to Notepad, which is a bit more advanced, it has fewer features than Word. Okay, now try the second way to open it. You can pin the WordPad program from here, in the list that's available, to the Start menu. Right-click on it. Select Pin to start for it. This way, it will appear for you in the section from the app list. In the Category section or the Category list, it's now pinned here, since earlier we went through all the settings in detail. Everything about it is fully explained here as well. Later you can use it from here the next time too. Or you can even, instead of pinning it to start, pin it to the taskbar, which is this section down here called the taskbar, by right-clicking here. Then, for example, you select Pin to Taskbar for it. Or if it's not here, because we've already pinned it here, you can go to its main location, which is here. Just right-click here. Or select Pin to Taskbar. In the end, we pin it to the taskbar. Here it is. Now, it's always available on the taskbar. Whenever we click on the WordPress icon, it opens. So if we click it again, it closes. Well, if we don't want it anymore, just right-click here or there, then select Unpin from Taskbar. After opening a program or a couple of addresses, we can use an easier way to go into Run. The shortcut for Run is Windows key plus R, or Windows key and R. Now, Run has a feature where you always have to type the full name of the program. Even if you add or miss a single letter, it gives you a warning. For example, if the spelling isn't right or you try to type something else by mistake. It gives you 2 warnings, meaning it has to be typed out completely. After this, when we press enter, the WordPress program opens. But there's something we have in this pointer called Search. It has a feature where you don't need to type the full name or every letter, just the program's name. Even if we just type a single W, it brings up both Word and WordPad. WordPad has the open option. These are its recent files. These are the last files we worked on and saved. If we click on this, it expands. For example, it shows some additional options. I had already told you, friends, what the administrator's job is. Open File Location is a feature that shows you where it is saved. And Unpin from Start is for when you want to unpin it from Start or pin it again. Pin means it gets attached for us. We also have Pin to Taskbar and the Uninstall option. Well, I had already explained these in previous videos. One way is that New comes up here. I had mentioned that you can use Text Document as Notepad from here as well. It refers to the Notepad program. Rich text format refers to the WordPad program. They open those files. In the end, you can enter the WordPad program. Sometimes, just to sum up, double-clicking, for example, doesn't open it. Now that it's opened, sometimes it still doesn't open. Sometimes the file opens in Word. The reason for that is because in the Open With section here, Microsoft Word is selected. That's why, when you come here once and select WordPad, after that, this problem doesn't show up anymore. Whenever you bring a file with the .txt format from here, it should open for you in the WordPad program, not in Word. Then, we have something called a shortcut. I had mentioned this to you as well. It's a shortcut. You go to the shortcut. Dariush creates the shortcut below. Now, one problem is that we don't know the address for this. Earlier, we told you in Notepad that whether it's Notepad, Paint, Calculator, or any of these, their default address is in this PC. When we go to Local Drive C, Windows, here we have a folder called System. It was C, and everything is here. If you use Notepad, if you use Calculator, or if you use any other software, in the end, it's all here. For example, Notepad is located here. But the WordPad program is not on this list. Now, if we click on W, the letter for WordPad, we still can't find WordPad here. That's why, if you want to access it through a shortcut, you need to know the address of where we're going. You have to browse, go according to the address. Or let me tell you the address. Sometimes the shortcut itself works. The address for the WordPad program is different. For WordPad, when you go, you need to go to Local Drive C, then Program Files. And here we have a folder called Windows NT, which stands for New Technology, called NT. That's where it works. The WordPad accessory is available here, unlike other Windows programs. You can open it from here, in the list of these items, because now you know its address. If we use the shortcut method, we can say there's a shortcut available to us. For example, we go to Browse. We say Disk Space and Local Drive C. Program Files, Windows NT, Accessories. The WordPad program on the desktop. We want the WordPad program, or maybe with a different name. For example, I say, let it be named Assad. We could have selected this WordPad. I click Finish. On the desktop, it creates a shortcut for the WordPad program named Assad. We click on it. It opens for us. So, this is how we create a shortcut for any software. You can do it in a way that you read the addresses. After this, what do we have, kids? We had mentioned another way for WordPad, where you could go to run and open a program under a different name, Ahmad Mahmoud. WordPad can do the same thing. Well, some people make a mistake and think, for example, that there is such an address, and they say, if we go to this address, it will work. For example, we also had it under the name WordPad. I also type Assad in the main address, but if I check Assad and run, it gives a warning, because run can't search every folder. It can only search the specific folders that have been designated for it. Now, if we wanted to do the same thing, we'd have to put it in the folder that run recognizes. Just like we did the same thing yesterday. Here, you go to this PC folder, then to the C drive, and then to Windows. After that, you open the System32 folder, the Windows System32 folder that we worked with yesterday. Try to use the mouse to go from the last folder to the first folder. There's another way to do it too. Control plus Home, Control plus End, Control plus End. Pressing it takes you to the last folder or the last file in that folder. When you press Control plus Home, it does the opposite. It goes to the first file, and Control plus End goes to the last file. The reason I wanted the last file was so there would be an empty spot here for us to put our file. Otherwise, it would replace another file. Okay, I'll select Assad. Let's drop it here as well, and we'll click Continue for it. Now we can do this. Now, if we go to Render, we can write WordPress content as well. We can also write Assad content. It opens WordPress for us, because the folder that comes with Render is selected. This is the folder. It doesn't select all of the folders. If we didn't want it, we can remove it from here. We delete it. Another thing, for example, sometimes when students go into a folder, they mention the folder name here and say that from here, which is the main source. They say that now WordPress isn't there. Someone has deleted it, or they come and say the folder name has been changed. They say, for example, they made WordPress with a different name. How did it change? So how do we go back to its original state? When here, if you right-click, there's no rename option for you to click and rename it. So they ask, where did it change from? We access it through its main source. You can open its main source from here. An easy way. Open file location. But there's still one thing. This is a shortcut, so when we go to the shortcut. Now, for now, notice that the address is different. I went to the Windows Accessories menu. If, for example, we tell it to make this rename for us, for example, with this WordPad program. Let's say we named it Assad or something like that. It shows us under the letter. Try to see here, now it's become Assad's, and after that, it's still a shortcut. It's not the original one either. See, because depending on the sort, it's moved up. Earlier, in WordPad, it had brought it down under the letter W. Now, it's been brought up under the letter A, higher and higher. Assad. Not only there, but as we see here, it's completely changed for us for now, so its name has changed. But again, if we come back, we can rename the same shortcut below. We press delete. We click on rename. WordPad will create this again. Depending on the sort, it will come with this. But anyway, in this way, we can also paste files on the desktop. Without using the shortcut method, it can be done. The start menu appears, it comes up. You just normally drag it. Something will be created here automatically. A shortcut will be created. You can access it more easily from there. That means whenever you need to open WordPad again, it means you can just open it directly from the desktop. You can even assign a keyboard shortcut to it. Whenever I press a shortcut like Windows plus R, this has a shortcut. You can assign a shortcut key and open it. You right-click, go to Properties. In this section, it says Shortcut Key. For example, we set the shortcut to be Ctrl plus Shift. For instance, Ctrl plus Shift plus S. Just as an example, we click OK on this. Whenever we press Ctrl plus Shift, the program, it will open the WordPad program. Alright, so that was how to open it. So, no matter how we open WordPad, the method doesn't matter. The most common way people use is the search method. And finally, dear friends, we kindly ask that if you found these videos helpful, please like the videos to support us and help the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel, and we hope to see you in future sessions. And goodbye.